Hey, welcome to Sports and Politics with T. I am your host, Tanya. And tonight I just want to say happy Thursday. It is almost 8 o'clock. I wanted to start a little earlier today, but I did want to go ahead and give a shout out to everybody who's tuned in to the channel. Again, thank you for all the support, all the just sharing of the comments, all the thumbs up, just everything. I appreciate it all, okay? Again, thank you. And again, tomorrow is Friday, and of course, the weekend is coming up, Super Bowl weekend at that. And we're going to touch on that as well right at the end of the show tonight. But first, we are going to talk about DEI. Listen, guys, look. Now, this is serious, okay? This is serious. The reason why this is serious is because people don't realize that DEI not only affects Black people, but it also affects other minorities and white women. Believe it or not, white women are the biggest, they benefit from DEI than most people. Even affirmative action, same thing. A lot of people think that it's Black people, but no, it's going to affect you too. So it's something that I don't think people realize. When they look at the stats, African Americans have about 8%, whereas I think the Caucasian is like 50 to 60%, and Mexican and Latino is around about 20 to 30%. So, this is affecting everyone, honey. This is not just about us. Now, one person that we're going to listen to tonight, her name is Tabitha Brown, and a lot of people know her from her vegan meals, and she has like cookbooks. She has a show. I think she actually has a restaurant in California as well, and she has blown up since COVID. I think she blew up around 2020, 2021. She has dedicated her life to the vegan side of health. And so I want you to listen in on this segment so you can understand from the business side, because a lot of times as consumers, we look at it as us purchasing products from Target. But let's look at people who's already in Target, their merchandise, and listen in on how that's going to affect them as owners or business owners that have their merchandise to be sold to the consumer. Let's listen in on this segment, and then we'll chime in on what you think.
For Hype Plus News, I'm Symphony Thompson. In the midst of Donald Trump's first week in the office, the president has signed several new executive orders, including the rollback of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. As a result, many companies have also pulled back their policies with this new change, causing outrage amongst the country. Target, Walmart, and Amazon are just a few of the billion-dollar companies taking this into practice, which has caused some to call for boycotting of these businesses. Tabitha Brown, whose products are sold at all three of these companies, would take to Instagram in order to address the controversy while asking people to consider the Black-owned businesses that do business with Target. In her video, Brown would acknowledge the right to boycott the businesses that are rolling back DEI programs, but would also ask to consider how boycotting would affect the Black-owned products sold at these places. If we all decide to boycott and be like, no, we're not spending no money at these organizations. Listen, I get it. And if that's how you feel, honey, I get it. But so many of us will be affected. Our sales will drop. Our businesses will be hurt. Brown would emphasize that boycotting without a strategy could unintentionally harm the business the community wants to uplift. She would state boycotting retailers would give them the chance to justify pulling them from the shelves if they don't sell well.
If we all decide to stop supporting said businesses and say, I can't buy nothing from there, even the businesses who were affected by the DEI ban, right? What that does is you take all our sales and they dwindle down. And then those companies get to say, oh, your products are not performing. And they can remove them from the shelves and then put their preferred businesses on the shelves. And then what happens to all the businesses who've worked so hard to get where they are? Then what happens?
Unfortunately, it seems like Brown's message was misinterpreted, as many social media users online would rather Brown direct her energy towards Target as opposed to Black consumers. One user on social media would write, "Sorry to Mrs. Tabitha Brown, but she needs to redirect her energy and talk to Target execs about letting her out of that Target exclusive contract, instead of talking to Black folks about rightfully taking our Black dollars literally anywhere else." Another online user would agree and write, "I don't like what Tabitha Brown said, because she is insinuating that the fate of her brand and other Black brands is in the hands of boycotting Black consumers, instead of placing blame on the actual companies rolling back DEI initiatives that will likely drop her." Now, as her original message wasn't properly received, to clear the air, Brown would post another message on Twitter with a caption reading, "Since so many people didn't watch to the end of my video and have created a false narrative, this is not about me. This is bigger than me. I'm grateful for all the support over the years, but if I don't get it anymore, I overstand and I'm okay, but it's bigger than me." Several users on social media would understand where Brown was speaking from. One user online would say, "A, no Tabitha Brown slander will be tolerated. She asked if we would continue to support her brands at Target as well as other Black people, but clearly stated more than once that if you choose not to, she understands. Don't paint false narratives to rage bait."
Okay, so let's tackle this for a second, because I want you to understand, I understand the pushback from us people, because on one end, people are saying, listen, if we buy your product, Tabitha and all the Black owners, okay, we are still supporting Target, no matter what. Because guess what? If we buy just her product, Target gets a percentage of that. You best believe, okay? So I understand people that, as far as the consumer side, saying, you know what, Tabitha, look, you need to talk to the execs and see if you can get out of your contract, because we're not going in there. Because if we give you our dollars, we're still giving Target our money. So listen, look, I get it. I do. I understand that. I do. Now, from a business standpoint, as a person that has merchandise in Target, I do understand what Tabitha is saying to a degree too, where, they work hard to get where they are. And it's not easy to get in those big box stores. It is not. I mean, if you're fortunate to get your product in there, that's nothing but God. So, I get it. I do. But I will say this. Let me say it this way too. Tabitha Brown has made millions. In my heart, I feel like she has the money at this point in her career. I don't know about other business owners, but for her, I feel like she has enough to pretty much branch out and get her own stuff going. Even online, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you have the money that she has, and she's got millions. Okay, so that's a hard pill to swallow. At one point you want to support, but you still don't want to give Target your money at the same time. But at the same time, you don't want to see their products come off the shelf because of the non-support. So it's a catch-22 if you think about it. But let's continue on with the video.
One more would write, "So basically y'all want Tabitha Brown to break her contract and risk getting sued by Target. Like she said in that video, it's not always that simple. If you go support her and other Black businesses, then do it. If not, then please shut the entire F up. Instead of boycotting, Brown would urge consumers to play the game and not give...
Oh, wow. You know what? Look, that's just how it goes. You know, she's like, look, this is my livelihood we talking about, okay? I'm trying to make money too. You know, I get it. And she even said, look, she understands. It's not like she's saying you have to do this. So I give Tabitha credit. She's like, look, I ain't holding nobody. I can't force nobody to buy it. I'm just telling you what the consequences is going to be. Okay, that's all Tabitha is saying. So I get it. You know, and you know, but anyway.
Companies an excuse to remove Black-owned products from stores. She ended her video by saying her contract with Target will last for another year, and she will possibly reconsider the partnership when that time comes. So what do you guys think about Tabitha Brown asking fans to consider boycotting certain products in major retailers that have pulled back DEI programs instead of their entire business? Do you all agree? Let us know in the comments below. And be sure to stay up to date with the latest news and comedy by subscribing right here to our YouTube channel. Hit the bell and select all so you can receive notifications for all of our content and not just some. Check out Hyper's Club for all your cool and original merchandise and content. And for our YouTube viewers, if you like this story, send us a super thanks by hitting the button below. And
all right, so I just wanted you to understand the consequence behind this because, you know, business owners got to make a hard decision now. And see, this is the thing too. They have contracts, right? They can't just get out of it just like that, you know, without some type of negotiating or you know, because they can get sued. You know, that's the thing. It's not as easy as talking. So, you know, I'm glad Tabitha did speak out about it. I'm glad that she said, listen, you know, if you choose to support, it would be great if y'all will keep us on the shelves. But if you don't do it, I understand. You know, I get it. So that's something we got to think about, y'all. Next, now let's talk about Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton led a crusade to Costco because Costco said, listen, I'm not bowing down to no DEI. We're not getting rid of it. We don't care what you got to say. Walmart can go, Target can go. We're standing our ground right now. Okay, we're not going nowhere. We don't care what you have to say. And guess what? Like I told y'all the other week, now all those dollars, people say follow the money. Well, Costco is like, yeah, come on over here. I'll treat you good. Yep, you can have free space and everything. Go ahead and get set up. Yeah, bring all those dollars. We'll welcome you in. See, that's a smart business move if you ask me. Because think about it. You know, it's almost like during Christmas when you see all the stores closed except for the dollar stores. Oh, honey, them dollar stores be making a killing on Christmas Day. That's smart. That's smart business savvy right there. Because they're thinking like, well, somebody's going to want a soda. Somebody's going to want some chips. Somebody's going to want, you know, and guess what? It'd be full of people. They ain't missed a beat. So anyway, let's listen in on Costco with Al Sharpton leading his crusade through Costco just so they can make a statement. All right? At Costco, shop at Costco.
I'm very well, thank you.
Thank you to Mayor Sharpton. I want to say thank you to Mayor Baraka, to the Congresswoman. All the mayors are here. You know, DEI is also about the American dream. It's also about second chances. And the population that I have the privilege of working with, people coming home, veterans coming home, people coming home from addiction treatment, people coming out of prison and jail. This Costco has employed 8 individuals in the past year that needed a second chance. And so what's so critically important is when we think about DEI and we think about opportunities, we can do everything right for people looking for that second chance. But a job is a way to sustain yourself and your family, to pay your bills, to play by the rules. And so I just want to say thank you to Reverend Al and all those assembled, but understand, for those 8 individuals that are working in that Costco, this corporation has changed their lives with the possibility of a second chance. That's what America's about. That's what we're all about. Thank you.
History Month, that they are now saying they won't even honor in the Pentagon with an event, as well as other events. We not only will teach black history, we're going to make black history. Yes. We're going to make it by letting them know you will not stop DEI. The civil rights struggle of the Trump administration is for this fight where we deal with DEI. DEI came out of affirmative action, which was a Republican Party platform. Affirmative action started under Nixon, written by Arthur Fletcher. It came as a result of the civil rights movement.
Did you know that Amazon has a $50 million fund that they have to pay out every month? And here's how you can get a cut of it.
Okay, so I just wanted you to see that people are marching in. Al Sharpton did a renegade. He said, you know what, we're going to make a statement here. Okay, we're not going anywhere, and we're going to put our dollars where people appreciate us. You know, that's what I'm talking about. Because let me tell you something. When it comes to dollars and money, one thing that these CEOs and execs look at is the bottom line and how much profit they're making. And if they start seeing 30, 40 million a day go downhill, it can change some minds pretty quickly. So I'm just saying, you know, like right now they ain't seeing it, but if enough do it, yeah, that the pockets start looking like, whoa, you know, what is going on here? Okay, I'm used to making this, and now Costco is like, yeah, bring it on over here. We'll, like you say, we'll treat you good over here. And that's what people respond to, how they're being treated. Okay, that's all we're saying. That's all we are saying. All right. Now, let's move on to the next segment. We're going to talk about Vivek. We talked about Vivek Ramaswami about 2 weeks ago. You know, he got kicked out of MAGA right after the inauguration. And, you know, it's amazing that he still is trying to hold on to this idea that everything is great. You know, I know his pride is hurt. I know that, you know, he doesn't want to look like they didn't accept him, when in reality, that's exactly what it was. But I want you to listen in where Charlemagne asks him the question about how he feels so far about what Trump is doing. Just listen in on these answers.
I'd like to be mostly done. I think I am done with the DEI debates. I think we've turned the page on that. I'm interested in a forward-looking conversation about what does equal opportunity actually look like, right? I think that in the debates we've had about equal opportunity versus equal results, the DEI side of this often has fallen into equal results camp, and people would say, oh, well, we want equal opportunity, and that was a conservative response. But now we have to confront the hard work of what does that actually look like? Like, what actually does equality of opportunity, which everyone acknowledges doesn't exist today, how do we actually do that hard work? And I think that that's a good result of going past the group quota DEI regime to have an honest conversation about the fact that we don't have equal opportunity across the country. Early education, do we have equal opportunity when it's public schools organized according to zip codes rather than actually giving every kid access to the best education they can have? That's not equal opportunity. But we haven't been able to have that conversation because we're having the cosmetic discussion about DEI or quotas or whatever. Now that we're done with that, that hard work can begin across the board. And I think that that's a conversation where a lot of thoughtful voices on the left and right can now roll up our sleeves and say, we've preached the message of equal opportunity. How do we actually get there? And I, for one, am game for that
So
discussion.
you don't think DEI was a way to get there? You don't think that?
I think it has proven not to be the way to get there. I've obviously been an opponent of it for 4 or 5 years, so I'm obviously going to have biased views on this from where I sit. But
what is it exactly? The policy? Because you need diversity to get there. You need equity to get there. You need inclusion to get there.
yeah, so I think part of what happened is when you started using the capital D, capital E, capital I, here's what happened is, I think in the name of diversity of thought, right, because that's where you want diversity of thought in an organization, the capital D diversity actually ended up saying that certain viewpoints aren't welcome, that we actually sacrifice true diversity of thought. In the name of equity, which is measured in terms of outcomes, I think we actually sacrificed true equality of opportunity. And then at a certain place, and this is really where it took a dark turn to me, is in the name of inclusion, we created a culture of exclusion where certain viewpoints were not welcome in an organization. And what that does is it causes the bottled up emotion to fester. Okay, that doesn't lead to good places. When you tell somebody, shut up, sit down, do as you're told, keep your views to yourself, that actually fosters resentment. And the weirdest thing I think has happened in the last few years, and I do actually blame a lot of the DEI and related policies for this, is that we have seen a reactionary wave of racism in the country, anti-minority racism, that would not have existed but for that DEI culture of not only taking something away from somebody based on their skin color, but even worse, in the name of inclusion, saying that you can't express your view.
Okay, let me just interject just a second. Okay, so basically what he's saying is because somebody is included based on race, or if they're female or whatever, that somehow that disqualifies somebody else who is not diverse. Like, see, the problem with that premise is he's acting like everybody that's in the higher ups are all diverse. Okay, so you can make that argument if the top people were all diverse and there was just no bias and no prejudice and everything is on merit, right? So if we had all the 1%ers of the world got together and you see a black, white, Hispanic, Japanese, male, female of every race, of every creed in top positions where they can make sure that that is across the board how it's going to be, then fine. But what you're going to find is at the top level, there is, as far as 1%, there is nobody that you see. What you would have to do is restructure the top and the bottom to make sure that everything is fair across the board. But that's not what's happening. You're restructuring just the bottom, which means the top still is the same. And as long as the top is still the same, it leaves room for bias, prejudice, and pretty much disqualifying, because you're not going to see everybody in the same lens. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm making sense. So in other words, unless they tear the top down and they put everybody up top diverse, which is not what it is, then you can make the argument, okay, because now we got representation of every culture, sex, race, everything. But now that's not what it is, so. But anyway, let's keep listening.
And then there's an ugly side that comes up in response. So I don't want this game of tug and war where the war continues. Just everybody lay down arms. Are we perfect? No, we're not. But whatever residual racism or prejudice might exist, let it slowly melt away as we've been on the course.
Okay, well, see, that's the thing. It's not going to slowly melt away. It's going to get worse. It's going to increase, in fact, because now getting rid of all the diversity is just, unless you're white and you're a Christian male, that's the only ones that will benefit. And white women. Okay. Well, not even white women, because they're in DEI too. Sorry. So I'm sorry, just Christian white male. That's it. Those are the ones that are in power typically. And those are the ones that make the decisions and call the shots from the top down. But if you don't never do anything with the top and all you're doing is restructuring the bottom and that's it, then the same people control everything that's flowing across the board. So that's the merit. I understand, but also it also leaves room to criticize people now in positions, because what about all the people who's already been hired? Are you saying that people who in those positions, are they there not because they work hard? Like every situation. So am I a person that was hired just because I was a black woman and they needed a black woman to fill that position? Or did I really get there because of merit? Or was it both? That's the discussion we really need to be having. And so this is going to get messy, guys. I can see this already. You're eliminating all these programs. You're eliminating DEI. I'm all for merit. I feel like no matter what your skin color is, you're supposed to get the job if you're qualified. It doesn't matter what your color is. But if that's the case, then we need to look at the top too. And nobody's willing to restructure the top. So if we don't restructure the top, then it's going to be the same outcome. That's just how I see it. So let's keep listening.
For the last 60 years of heading in the right direction. And then let's have a substantive. I think we've been in the right direction, obviously, compared to 1960. I don't think that's really debatable.
I think we were.
So now we're having a healthy discussion where I think that the rise of even well-intentioned DEI programs, even from those who had the best of intentions, I think did, in retrospect, I think we can say, set us back.
Not the rise of MAGA and Trump's executive orders from last week.
I think Trump's executive orders from last week were about, this is what we're talking about, so it's the circle here, which is, does ending the DEI programs, do we think that's a step forward for the country or not? I think it's a step forward for the country. Is that the destination? No, it's just the beginning of a real discussion about equal opportunity that lifts all Americans up. And
Okay, but see, this is the thing too. Now, you notice he hasn't put down MAGA at all, even though they just booted him out after 3 days of his inauguration. And the reasoning was with him and Elon Musk didn't get along. So here you go. He's Indian. And a white man just said, you know what? We don't get along. You got to go. So we're seeing already it playing out even for him. He's in denial about it. But you already see how they're treating him as an Indian man. He's not even a black man and he's getting treated this way. So, but he's afraid to come out and say something because he knows he's got cards in the fire on other positions. And look, you don't want to burn bridges. I understand that, but tell the truth. I mean, just say, look, we didn't get along. And now that I've been in it, it wasn't like I thought it was. I got my own way of looking at it. He got his own way of looking at it. And, it's going to be conflict. I can respect that. Kind of like MAGA Granny. She was like, you know what? I did it. Okay, it was me. I'm guilty. Okay, I'm not taking up for her. I'm just saying when she stood 10 toes down, she wasn't in denial about it. He's just like, he's afraid to go against MAGA. And that's what you're going to find is people, especially minorities, they're so afraid to express themselves freely to the point where it's almost like they're in bondage. It's sad. It's really sad.
You have a conversation about equal opportunity if they don't even want to have a conversation about diversity, equity, and inclusion. You get what I'm saying? Like, I understand where you're trying to go with it, but you can't have one without the other, I think is the point. And how do you do that? It seems like that's your disconnect even with Doge, right?
No, I think a couple different topics there. Look.
Yeah. Charlamagne the God here, and I want to tell you about Ke Huy Quan. He's had one of the craziest careers in Hollywood. He played two of the most iconic movie roles of all time. As a kid, he played Short Round in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom alongside Harrison Ford. And then...
Are we a country where we want equal opportunity for every person to achieve the maximum of their God-given potential? Yes, we do. Are we perfect in realizing that? No, we're not. Do we think that group quota systems are the right way to achieve that? I'm of the view the answer is no. And I think the last few years show us that it hasn't even been effective in actually empowering the people it was supposed to empower, while it's created resentment of a lot of the people who felt deprived. So I think we just got to...
I don't disagree with that last
We just got to go to post DI world. That ship in my opinion, for the better, maybe in other people's opinion for the worse. That ship has sailed. Now let's look to the future and say, what does equal opportunity actually look like? I'll give you one of the areas I'm most passionate about. I think equal opportunity to a high quality early education makes a difference. There's a lot of focus on college and what the college composition needs to be. Mm-hmm. You missed the boat. If you're doing this after somebody's already 18 years old and in 12th grade, the cake is baked. This starts young. I mean, early childhood achievement trajectories are set in preschool, set in first grade, set in second grade.
Okay, we're going to stop right there because you see he's kind of rambling on and he's not really answering the question. So, one thing about me, I filter through all this. I'm just like, will you please get on with the answer? It sounds good, but at the end of the day, they booted you out. Like, how do you even... This is what I'm saying, man. Just be honest, okay? Just say, look, it ain't what I thought. I'm moving on to bigger and better things. I wish them well, or if you don't wish them well, hey, whatever. I'm moving on with my life, But this guy, he just rambles on, and he's in denial about it. It's like, please just stop. Stop. You're not even in MAGA, for God's sakes. But anyway, guys, let's just talk about the Super Bowl. And just for a brief second, listen, Sunday, this coming Sunday, y'all, February the 9th, it's going to be here quick. All right, Philadelphia Eagles against Kansas City Chiefs. Again, I'm going for Philadelphia. I normally go for Kansas. Y'all drop it in the comments who y'all going to go for. I'm going for Philadelphia because I feel like I said, Jalen Hurts hasn't won yet. I like Patrick Mahomes, but I'm gonna go for Jalen this year. I wanna see somebody new win the Super Bowl. Now I tell everybody, y'all get y'all stuff together, all y'all food, drinks, get it together by Saturday evening, because I'm telling you, these restaurants is gonna be packed, and the takeout is gonna be through the roof. Delivery is gonna be through the roof. So definitely get your orders in as far as all your hot wings and pizza and all your hors d'oeuvres and food, whatever you're going to serve, try to get it early, okay? Get them orders in. But it's going to be a great Super Bowl. I'm looking forward to it. Again, it's going to be in New Orleans, Louisiana. New Orleans had a rough start, beginning of the year with that attack. So hopefully this will bring some excitement and some happiness back to New Orleans, because we need some excitement at this point. I'm telling you. I mean, it's just so much going on. I mean, since January 20th, we've had so many things take place. And I'm going to be honest with you, y'all, we got to look out for ourselves. I keep telling y'all, we've got to look out for each other and ourselves. All right? Because you don't know from day to day what's going to happen, but God is in control, so that's all that really matters at the end of the day. Okay? So, anyway, I just wanted to take the time to say again, thank y'all for tuning in tonight. It's been great. I'll be back on Monday again at 8 o'clock, as I always do. And if you like this content, you can please hit like, share, and subscribe to the comment. And hit the notification bell as well to be notified of every episode and all the new lives that are going to be coming through. I probably will go live again on Monday like I did this past Monday. And that way, I can interact with everyone and see how everyone is doing. So, but again, hit like, share, and subscribe and the notification bell to keep up to date on the nearest or the latest videos. All right? So if everything is good, I will see y'all on Monday. We'll talk about the recap of the Super Bowl and what everybody thought about the halftime show and all this other stuff. And we're going to talk about some more stuff as far as Trump's policies, things that he's still doing, some things that we found out about the election that is now starting to roll out. I'm trying to wait to gather a little bit more information because They're saying that Kamala had a lot of votes stolen, which I'm not surprised. So we're gonna tackle that, but I might wait a little bit to get some more information to make sure that this is what it is. Okay. But anyway, y'all have a great rest of the night, and I will see y'all on Monday at 8 o'clock. Take care. Bye-bye.